Hello, and once again, welcome to Headaches and Hot Takes. I am your host, Chaperian, alongside my co-host, Hern, a.k.a. the Magician's Uncle, a.k.a. Sloppy Joe, a.k.a. White Castle's biggest competitor, Black Fortress, the Herniator.
What? Castle! I'm Sal!
What can I get for you? You're annoying, Sal.
You're annoying, Sal.
Okay, drive up then.
Okay, drive up then has become one of our...
Whoa, Sal. You need to slow down there, buddy.
It's become daily that we to each other be like, okay, drive up then.
I think every single time we've talked over the last month plus, we've snuck in, okay, drive up then, at least once.
Yeah. Anytime one of us has like an inkling of like an attitude. Okay, drive up then.
Drive up then.
like fine. I don't
What
care.
What the? Have you looked up that clip to refresh yourself on it specifically since then?
No, I need to. Like, I remember, but like, I need to.
It's funny because he's sitting there, he's got like a whole hairdo and stuff, and he's in a suit, and again, Squidward's doing his whole thing, right?
Yeah.
That you put in the Twitter clip this past week, and he just like barely moves. He goes like forward a little and then back a little, like subtly, like a subtle animation. He goes, "What the?" Or it's kind of "What the?" That's kind of it. So hopefully I didn't overmodulate the crap out of my mic real quick.
Probably we're 2 minutes in, buddy, and you're already doing it.
It's my podcast. I'll do what I want to.
It's my podcast. I can say whatever I want. Every time I edit, I don't.
You will put something in there that I don't want in there.
Really?
Every time. I'll be like, cut that. And you're like, no, like me burping.
Oh, yeah.
You leave that crap.
Well, sometimes
leave that in there.
Sometimes genuinely, like the way like I'm like scratching my nose or something, and it probably looks funny, but like it's just not like a great cut to make. It's like I just leave it, yeah. But what did I leave in the last episode? Tell me.
I don't think there's anything specific.
Every time, tell me.
Every time. Well, you last edited 2 episodes ago. I edited the most recent one, right? You did the one before that.
Yes.
I couldn't tell you anything specific.
Believe.
And then I like your editing spin. You put you've taken some paths that I've not taken that I think are really good. So.
I think if probably most anybody watching probably couldn't tell who edited the episode.
We both have like the same
I think we're pretty
ignorant, stupid sense of humor. Like we think that dumb. What the? Okay, drive up there. Like nobody's finding that funny besides us.
Right. So I think it's fine.
It is. We record this on Friday this week, and I was really excited this week to show you my hat that I picked up from the Bengals Pro Shop, which says Yed Ow. If you're reading it from Discord, I don't think you can actually read it. I'm flipped for you.
You're right.
Am I the right way for you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you're the right way. Yeah.
I was so excited to show you my Houday hat. It's still Houday, but let's just say it was raining all day in Cincinnati today, and it was very appropriate to the way we're feeling about our football team because.
Okay, I thought you were straight metaphor there.
Dead serious. It was actually raining all day in Cincinnati today. I'm dead serious, and I was like, how appropriate. Like, it's.
What do you think about the allegations that they knew before?
They've come out.
The game that he was.
He says he wears compression sleeves on airplanes all the time, keep him swelling. And for what it's worth, he has been wearing compression sleeves in practice over the past few weeks. He said it was just a compression sleeve that I guess went over his wrist too, and then up. We can't really see because he had long sleeves on.
Right.
But he came out, and Coach Zach Taylor came out today to the media and said that had nothing to do with this, just so we know. And I mean, you can see him in pregame throwing just fine. Up until that point, throwing just fine.
Up until you, right?
But
I just love how like they're apparently going to launch like a full-fledged investigation into it.
I don't think they'll find anything. I really don't. Like I don't.
All this stuff happens every week.
I promise you, if Joe Burrow
terrible
was hurt,
officiating,
he would have got hurt in practice first of all, and somebody would have noticed.
Right.
Like
the worst officiating we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So many questionable. First off,
what's
like,
the review
like
if they knew he was hurt?
Something really random, but like I think something happened in y'all's game as well. In our Eagles game, first off, like at least the head ref, if not more, were previously banned because they pretty much like I don't know if you can catch like
really
with 100% evidence that you can throw a game or whatever, but apparently he and company were banned at one point for throwing games. Welcome back, ref.
Are you serious?
What are we doing?
Head ref from last night?
What are we doing? No. From the Dolphins-Eagles game, the head ref there. But period, there was like apparently.
Did you have Jerome Boger that game?
Like, I can't even remember.
I
But
know,
apparently
I
he
know.
grew up like 10 minutes from
Head ref last night
Philly,
was from
like-
Baltimore. I'm not joking you.
Yes.
Head ref last night was from Baltimore.
It's like it's just.
There was
I don't
some
know, when
really
are we gonna-
funky calls last night, and like we didn't lose because of the refs. We lost because our starting quarterback got hurt. Might we have lost if we played?
yeah,
Sure, we might have lost if we played the full game. Whatever. We were, I think, winning when he came out. I think we took the lead right when he came out, if I'm not mistaken. On that last play, he scored a touchdown. But anyways, we're getting a little off track.
Long story short, when are we gonna? They're cracking down on Burrow possibly being hurt
And then not
because he was
putting on the
wearing
injury
a
report.
compression sleeve. But even though we've had the worst officiating, I think the entire league agrees that
We
seen
said it yesterday, and
probably ever.
in all seriousness, it's been the worst officiating year in NFL history. Like, and it's not just a matter of like missed calls or ghost calls. It's like literal. Excuse me. Literal.
Keep that in.
You keep that in.
If I'm editing, that's staying in.
Literal games are being decided by calls or lack of calls that are painfully obvious. Somebody, and there's been some bad ones over the years. Somebody put on my timeline earlier this year. They're like sports moments that made you cry. And I was reading the tweets because I'm a sicko. I was reading the replies. And that Rams-Saints NFC Championship game from a few years ago where the Saints are driving, and I mean, it's like a minute left in the game. It might have been fourth down, if I'm not mistaken. And Breeze throws it down the field on the sideline to somebody, and this Ram player just levels this receiver before the ball gets there. And you can tell from one of the TV angles, he's like feet in front of the ref. The ref's like watching, like right happen. Right as that happens. No call. And the Saints play on the sidelines like... It's the worst missed PI call of all time, and it literally determined who went to the Super Bowl. Oh, God, the surrender cobra. Michigan had the worst surrender cobra of all time. That thing you just did, it's called the surrender cobra. Usually when your team does something really bad, you throw that up.
Oh, okay. You know the most random. I promise you would kill in trivia.
I hear that.
I think I said that before.
I hear that all the time.
You know the most random crap. We're playing Fortnite earlier, and I'm like a random default skin. You're like, oh, you're Alyssa. I'm like, they have names. You know
Ramirez,
like
yeah.
random crap. Ramirez, like whatever. Like you just know stuff. It's so weird.
I got something wrong with me mentally. Nothing diagnosed, but something's not quite right up there, dude. And so like,
But see, like,
yeah.
How you know the name of default Fortnite characters, and like that's how like my brain does the last week. I'm like, oh, phony. Like mine's just quotes.
Yeah.
Yours is like random
That's
information.
my
Mine's,
take. Is
random
like I
quotes.
remember stupid crap about stuff that I'm interested in. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I told you earlier,
whatever.
because we're both wearing NBA jerseys, right? Got my guys, the Lakers, on. You've got your boys, Miami Heat. Our favorite emo prince, Jimmy Butler, on. And you get that reference, right? Surely.
Oh yeah. Dude, his media day.
I love it. Every year or
so
something
much.
right now. But I mentioned
So
earlier
much-
to you
I didn't even-
that upon his time
Yeah.
of retiring, Dwayne Wade had worn literally every single version of every Miami Heat jersey to ever exist. And it barely happened that way because he went back to the Heat his last year when they introduced that new City jersey that he had never worn at that time, obviously because it was brand new, and then he retired. So like every home and away jersey he had worn throughout his career. It's crazy.
That is cool.
So
I like that.
it's stupid stuff like that, bro. But then it's like, important, like how to, change your brakes. I'm like, why would I know that? Why would I know that?
Can you change a tire?
I can change tire. Yeah, that's not that hard. Actually,
Okay.
it's really not.
You're better than what 80% of our generation probably.
I had to learn how to change a tire. Yeah, I think my grandfather taught me.
That was like before I got even my learners. I think that was like I'm gonna teach you how to do it, and then I'm gonna
Good.
watch. You're gonna change this.
I think it was just
like,
I think we literally had to change one of our tires one time. It was at our house, so I don't know how that would have happened. But I remember like my grandfather was over, and I just like watched him do it, and that's how I learned how to change a tire. So I have.
There you go.
Well, I can't think if I've specifically had to change a tire or not, or if it was just a matter of like, wait a minute, what's going on? Okay, dude, one of my figures on my monitor was blocking the recording thing, and it looked like it was a zeros. I was like, tell me I hit start recording. I did. It was 0009 for 9 minutes, but like it was blocked, so it looked like 0000. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh. Right,
Anyways.
right.
I'm not even gonna tell the story I was about to tell. I'm gonna tell something else. So we made an agreement last year that you do not have to still be living up to. I don't blame you if you don't. That's fine. We made an agreement week 4 last year in the NFL season that, hey, if our team's not up for it, I want your team to go win it all. And I really meant that last year. I was like, if the Bengals are out of it, I'd love the Dolphins to go win it all. And you said,
right.
You're like, hey, if we're not in it, I'm pulling for you Bengals, dude. Because I think at the time we were still pretty likable by America's standards. I think they've had enough of us in the 2 years already to where they don't want us anymore. But just letting you know, with the Bengals officially, unofficially out of it this year, right? They're in it still, mathematically. Season's over, too.
Mathematically.
I hope your Dolphins go win the whole thing, dude. I so sincerely mean that. With every team out there, Dolphins, Lions. What's that other? Isn't there another random team in there? The Jags. One of those teams would be great. Decent, yeah. One of those teams would be great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would love to see anybody but Philly, 49ers, Chiefs.
And that's absolutely who's going to win. Is one of those three plus Baltimore. One of those three plus Baltimore is going to win it. So, and I promise you, like, especially as a Bengals fan who has to deal with them on Twitter, you're never going to hear the end of it from Baltimore fans. Like, last night, middle of the game, they showed a little. It's augmented reality, so it's stuff put on top of what's actually there, right? Augmented reality,
yes.
You know the concept? They did that little augmented reality light show of Ray Lewis in the middle of the freaking game.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Why? Is he out there? Hey, listen. Ray Lewis is the greatest middle linebacker of all time, no doubt. But, like, did the Bengals not have any great players ever? Right? Imagine right now in the middle of a Thursday Night Patriots game, like, here's a Tom Brady augmented reality light. Huh? Why?
It was a Ravens home game.
Why would you show? Why are they showing that period? Who cares? What's the point?
It's not like I wouldn't be incredibly surprised if during a Dolphins home primetime game they showed a Marino.
That makes no sense. Why are we focusing
They
on
almost
this?
always like at least flash like the banner. They'll flash to the retired number up on the stadium or the banner.
That's
or whatever.
fair. It's the fact that they like made a whole little augmented reality thing. I'm like, that makes no sense. Like, show old clips. That I do really like, especially in college, they do this a lot. They always show like the past couple meetings, usually.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. Or they'll show like historic meetings between the two. I'm like, dude, yeah. Because like they showed Penn State played Michigan last week. And I was at Michigan Penn State last year. That's why I got that little beat Penn State pin from my first ever Michigan game. And they showed that one. I was like, oh yeah, dude, there we go. Because we like crushed them. It was 41-17. I was like, yeah, show that game. Stuff like that. I like that. But like, I think like going out of your way to be like, let's create a whole Ray Lewis graphic for this Bengals Ravens Thursday night game in Baltimore. I'm like, that is dumb. I think that's stupid. Sorry. This is totally besides.
Still, one of my favorite things. Speaking of the Ravens, one of my favorite things. This is when sports stats specifically are so selective.
Okay.
In what they choose. Since week 2, obscuring his 2 crappiest weeks, Jared Goff is the best quarterback in the NFL. I don't care. You got to include him. It was going on everywhere last year. Or I can't remember when it was. It was on the anniversary date, like whatever it was. But when the Ravens were up on the Dolphins, what was the halftime score of that game? I honestly don't remember. I just remember us coming back like down 21 points
last year
in the second half. That was last year.
You guys came back and beat them, didn't you?
That's all they showed though was like, it was Lamar Jackson's, like he had like a 90-yard touchdown run.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Show that. That's fine. But like, I just think it's weird whenever you show a stat. Joe Burrow with a 90-yard touchdown run. They would go on to lose that game by 30 points.
I actually
maybe not show that stat.
I have such bad OCD. This kind of
my
came
gosh.
Up. You know this one? You know this one?
The graphic.
You know this one? I was about to show you.
I love this. This is prime example.
We'll have to show this.
Prime.
We'll have to put this up on the screen for a second.
A Penn Stater has appeared in every Super Bowl.
Except
really
for
small
5.
Print. Except for 5.
Since 1967.
It's like this big.
Say like this was for Super Bowl 55, I think. Say a Penn Stater has appeared in 50 out of 55 Super Bowls. Wow, that's a cool stat. Every Super Bowl, huge text. Except for 5.
Texas football did one of those recently. Because remember Texas football like 3 years ago?
2.89, the highest GPA in team
school
history. You probably shouldn't advertise that, dude.
No. Well, it was that, but they did another one like last year. It was something like this. It was like Texas. Yeah, it was almost this exact
was it GPA
format
or was it
where,
Super Bowl?
No, it wasn't Super Bowl, or it wasn't GPA. It might have been Super Bowl, but it was something about this exact format of like huge, like misleading text and big text to get your attention. And at the very bottom, it was like the disclaimer, like, "Well, except for 10." Like,
I can't find that. I wish I could. I wish I knew what you were talking about, but
it's on my Twitter somewhere. But yeah.
Anyways,
I love those. It's so funny.
That's an all-timer. That's an all-timer. But again, we're kind of off topic here. But I just wanted to put it out there formally. I'm not a Dolphins fan for the rest of the year by far, but I feel like once your team's out of it, you pick a team that you're like, okay, I'd like to cheer for this. Like, I hope of all the teams left, I hope they win it. And like for the Super Bowl, even you're like, I'd kind of like them to win the Super Bowl. I feel like you can at least,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And growing up a fan of a terrible football team, I always was doing this around this time every year, being like, I'd like them to win it. It's not even Thanksgiving. I know my team's out of it. Like, yeah.
Right.
So I would love to see the Dolphins go win it. Tua's great. I'd like Tua, of all the quarterbacks right now with 0 rings, to win one before Burrow out of any of them. I'd like to not see Hurts. I'd like to not see Josh Allen especially. Yeah. So, no hate to Josh Allen. I just don't want him to have a ring before Burrow. But besides the point, that's all I'm saying is good luck to your Dolphins. I wish them the best, especially after the injury like they had last year. So,
let's thank you.
Yes, sir.
Let's thank you. Appreciate it. We will accept you as an honorary fan.
Well, I don't want that title. But honorary Rooter 4, you can call me.
Oh, my God. All right.
But I think that's enough from me. I think I've talked enough to start the show. What do you say?
If that's what you think.
Now's the time where Hern pisses me off every other week. Now's the part of the show where I regret signing up to do it.
You recently said, like, I was tweeting about something, and you said, are we going to disagree on a hot topic? And I said, wait till my next hot take. And this isn't going to be a surprise hot take. We have discussed this exact topic before on this podcast, I'm pretty sure. But we haven't really done a deep dive on it. We've mostly discussed this on Twitter.
I have a feeling of what hot take is coming, if not this week, very soon. I have a feeling that I know what it is. We'll see if it's this one. So we'll see if it's this one.
I don't think you'll, unless you maybe are gathering it from what I just said. I don't think you would know this is coming.
I thought all week I knew what your hot take was going to be this week, for what it's worth.
Really?
We'll see if I'm wrong.
Okay.
We'll see if I'm wrong. So, and if not, I'm not gonna tell you what it is that I think is coming, because I still think it's coming regardless. So we'll see.
All right.
But I'll shut my mouth and we'll let you begin.
Prepare yourself, because I'm about to do my best impersonation of what many would consider to be one of their favorite artists of current day. Are you ready? Grips on your way, front way, back way. You know that I don't play. Amazing. He's amazing, Drake. Love him. We discussed before that music is so subjective. I get that. My criteria, personally, for whether I like music or not, I carry a lot of weight for talent and the singing rather than the beat, whatever. That said, Drake, singing, has almost no talent. He raps fine, which I think a lot of the way Drake raps, now you want a photo? You already know it. I just did it. I just did exactly what he does. He does apparently write a chunk of his own stuff, if not most of it. But it's kind of hard to tell that 100% for sure. Like anything, Queen, towards the end of it, they said everything's by Queen. Somebody individually wrote it, probably. So who knows how much of his process Drake writes or whatever. I'm not saying Drake has no talent. I'm not saying Drake is bad. There are several Drake songs that I get down to. But we discussed, I think he's overrated. I think he is perhaps one of the most overrated current artists. And we discussed this before, and you combated me in saying that he's overrated. But then I responded with, again, I care about talent, I care about live. I responded with clips of him singing live. He can't. He literally sounds like his voice is cracking. Am I wrong? Go ahead and come in. Am I wrong that he's terrible when he tries to sing live?
I think that I have seen some clips that could be cherry picked or could not of him singing very terribly live. Singing and rapping are two different things, and he does sing a lot for a rapper. For what it's worth.
Apparently, that's like his thing. I literally looked it up. Apparently, that's also like a staple of Canadian rap.
They have their own thing with rap. I know it's
not rap, but
they have their own thing with rap. Whatever.
I don't know if it was rap or like maybe just Canadian artists to do that. Whatever the case may be. You, in this last discourse we had, said, I would never buy a ticket to go see Drake.
No.
So
but
how
not
can you?
for
And
the reason?
how can
Not
you?
for the reasons you're thinking of. Not for that reason.
Not because he's.
Not even.
Not because he's not.
because of Drake at all. I
So why?
am gonna add on to your hot take with a controversial hot take of my own that I stay very true to. I really like. I live my concert life
A
this
double
way.
hot take.
Okay. I don't go to concerts where I think the fans are going to ruin the show because I don't. A lot of people, I think I've discussed this on the pod before. People take me to be an extrovert. What? You have a podcast? We talked about what? I'm 1,000% introvert. I don't like going out and doing things. I like staying in my house all day. I like talking to a few people, but also like I could go with dead silence all day. My wife wasn't home as I worked from home today. Dead silence all day. It's great. Not to say like I like it better when my wife's not home. I'm just saying like there's no talking happening all day. I didn't have any meetings, nothing. And I'm like, this is great. I didn't say a word until my wife got home. I was like, oh, hey, you know what I mean? I love that. So there are so many people who see concerts as an opportunity to give everybody around them a contact high or bump everybody with elbows or let's go to the pit, man, yeah. Like, and if I think a concert's going to be that way, I refuse to go see it based off the artist. Like, one of my favorite bands, I listed them on our top fives that we did very early into the show, Rise Against, kind of a lesser-known band by most people's standards, right? I know somebody who in high school, in my senior year, went to go see them live. I was wondering. I was like, how were the other fans there? Like, were they crazy or how was it? He was like, everybody was pretty rowdy, was the way he described it. Everybody was pretty rowdy. I'm like, I'm good. Like, because that would ruin it for me. The way I'd like to view those kinds of concerts is up high in my own little section. Yes, you're far away, but at least I'm like, oh, no one's bothering me. I went to go see our favorite band of all time, Queen. I knew I was about to get like 70s, 80s rock fans there. The median age of people around me was at least 55. It was great.
Right.
It was great.
Right.
There were a couple... Gosh, I'm just burping up a storm right now. Don't know why. Sorry. There were a couple drunk ladies in front of me who did get up and block the view a couple times. And I felt bad more so for the guy directly in front of me because he was like a younger college-age kid. And he was like... I felt bad because you could tell he wasn't going to say anything. I was like, dude, sit down. Stop standing up for like... You're the only people standing up in the whole arena. Sit down. In my opinion.
Yeah.
But other than that, I knew, I was like, this concert's going to be fine. Right? One of my favorite modern artists is Khalid. I would never go see a Khalid concert. Never go to a Khalid concert. And I think he's great live, by the way. That's why I would not go to a Drake concert.
Okay.
So
I mean, that does like... That does... I don't know what the word is.
It adds some nuance to the discussion of why I would not go.
Sure. Period. Again, it's such a subjective subject. So, like, sincerely listen to whatever you want to listen to.
What's the hot take? Boil it down for me, please.
Drake's overrated. Perhaps one of the most overrated current artists. I cannot think
Taylor
sincerely,
Swift?
other than Taylor Swift. Name another current. Name another
Ariana
current
Grande.
artist that you believe is. Sure.
Beyonce.
Is she current?
Cardi B.
Okay. There's plenty. There's plenty. I just think Drake is sincere. I would say Drake for me is probably top 3 most overrated current artists.
Hip hop songs, dude. I don't know. And again, I'm not. My biggest gripe with this discussion when it first came up, and that's fine. It's your decision to say I care a lot about how they are going to sing if I see them live. You care a lot about that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm almost never listening to artists live when I'm listening to them. Almost never. It's all studio recorded, which means it's modified and it's the perfect versions of songs. So I'm good. I don't care if you're terrible live. Now, there's some layers of like Queen was excellent live. Brian May played the guitar almost exactly how he did when he recorded songs. I was like, dude, that's like... I was like, even the little things I wasn't sure if we'd throw in, I was like, dude, he had that part in there too. It's great. Stuff like that. And that's great as a fan. But I don't know. I'll let you get back to it. What do you got?
Well, like, I think I don't frequently listen to, like, whenever I'm listening to my favorite artists on Spotify, I'm not listening to the live version.
Yeah.
I just mean, like, Obviously, if you're good live, you actually have talent. Literally anyone can step into the studio right now and be Future if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Literally anyone.
Future.
I think in a lot of cases,
Future.
Most people could be Drake. I don't think
One of
his style of what he does. Again, writing it is different. That's a talent. Not everybody could be Eminem and rap with the speed he's got with his vocabulary or whatever. Drake's got some things. I'm not saying literally any person off the street can do what Drake does, but I don't think he is as talented as he is rated to be.
How do you feel about people like Jay-Z? Oh, we mentioned Jay-Z. You like Jay-Z, right?
Yeah.
He sounds the same live as he does in recordings and stuff. Does that make him... Who do you like more songs from? Drake or Jay-Z?
Jake or Drake?
Jake or State Farm? Drake or Jay-Z?
I probably like I probably like Jay-Z songs more if I had to guess. I don't know.
Okay.
But even if I like their songs on Spotify the same, the fact that Jay-Z sounds the same live, aka has more talent, then I would say I like Jay-Z better overall.
One of the interesting things
Just
you
because,
mentioned, by the way,
again-
I think he does a great chunk of his own music, writes it all, right? There's this thing with rap where you cannot admit that somebody else wrote any of your songs. Are you aware of this?
Of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not,
Ghostwriters is like, well, it's not a thing. It is a thing. It is a massive thing in rap. Is that everybody has, like Drake has a line, how you going to let a kid fighting ghostwriting rumors turn you into a ghost, right? Like, if there's rumors that somebody else is writing any of your music for you in the rap game, it's a bad thing. And like, it insults our intelligence a little bit. Okay, let's see. Every single pop artist, every single rock artist, every single R&B artist, everyone has music writing for them. Not rap, though. This one entire genre, no one. No, they all write every word of their own music. Yeah, right, dude. Give me a freaking break.
Right.
So
I was
I'm
trying
afraid
to find it. I
Drake has
could
written
not.
every one of his own songs. There's no way.
I listened to more Drake the past 2 days than I have in probably the last 2 years.
Okay.
Because I was trying to find one specific song. My brother is a huge Drake fan. He's going to hate
I call
this
myself a pretty big Drake fan as well. He's one of my favorite modern artists for sure. I've not liked a lot of his stuff in the last 3 or so years, but before that, I'm a huge fan.
Everybody, every artist ever, even my favorite, has absolute dud songs.
Yeah.
It happens.
There's some.
There was one song he was playing in the car. I'm in love with my car.
The third song at the concert.
He was playing. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that.
I started shaking.
Just what it means.
I'll chime in real quick to say, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you saw the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, they make fun of this one song written by the drummer Roger Taylor called "I'm in Love with My Car," and they made fun of it throughout the whole movie. I go to see them live, and it's the third song they sing or the fourth song they sing. My wife and I started dying. I was like, "There's no way." But anyways,
Cannot believe it.
Drake's song. What you got?
There was some song my brother played, and it was so bad in the middle of it. I can't even remember what happened. It was like he started just talking. Like it was like a clip of like him talking or whatever. But the music or whatever, I literally bust out laughing. I was like, what am I listening to? If I knew, I would have found it. That's why I listened to more Drake in the past. I went, it was forever ago. Like maybe both of us were still in high school. I know he was in high school whenever this happened. Maybe he would remember. I was trying to like get a mental picture of like which album was it?
Was it one of the big songs?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because again,
Some of
sincerely,
those are like funky beats. I think of like Passion Fruit, Hotline Bling. It's none
I
of
love
those.
Passion Fruit.
You like Passion Fruit?
I love Passion Fruit. I love Passion
love
Fruit.
this
That's one of the few. I have a few Drake songs like them. I sincerely do. I relived a lot of it since the past 2 days. Where I've been listening to a lot of him. I was like, oh yeah, that song. Oh yeah, he has that song. Oh yeah, like got good songs. I'm not saying he doesn't have good songs. I'm saying he doesn't have as much talent as people give him credit for. He's overrated.
Okay, there you go.
There you have it.
Well,
there you have it.
I strongly disagree because ultimately the end product of his music, which is what everybody is listening to, is the songs he puts out, is some of the best in the game still. So I think you're putting way too much stock into how good somebody is live because, like, how often does that actually
AKA
influence
their
your
talent.
listening? I don't agree. Do you think T-Pain has zero talent?
I think T-Pain compared to people who can sing live has less talent. I don't think that's hot.
Okay, but like he still makes very good music to listen to. At least some of his stuff, anyways, right?
Sure, but again, that's like Future. You could walk off the street with enough money.
Come on.
I'm not saying Future is bad, but he has no talent. It's 100% auto.
There's a lot of people with a lot of talent that just don't ever get off the ground. I got a random one I'm going to throw at you here. And I'm not like, woohoo, number one fan. Sarah Bareilles. You know her? She has that one song called Love Song. I'm not going to write you a love song. That, her. There's no way you don't know that song. I'm not going to write you a love song.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
There's no way you don't know this. She's incredibly talented, has written a lot of songs for a lot of people. I think she might have even been on like Broadway or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me there. Mega talented. Doesn't mean she can make great music.
That also comes into the... Well, Ariana Grande, I think, is talented.
Very talented
but
singer,
I think
makes
most of her
terrible music.
sucks.
Makes terrible music.
Perfect. Adele. I think Adele's pretty talented. I don't think a lot of her music
I think
sucks.
she makes really good music, too. I'm a pretty big fan. I never listened to Adele on my own, for what it's worth. But I think she's very talented. I think a lot of the music she makes hits the audience she's going for sure.
It goes both ways. Some people, I would argue, one of the greatest talented female artists that's alive right now is Fergie. Fergie has she can belt it like almost
but her
no other.
biggest defining
You don't
legacy
hear
is the
that.
national anthem. So
yes, right.
Through
So-
the night,
The players like trying to like not to laugh on the sidelines.
losing their minds. It's one of the all-time best NBA All-Star moments ever.
So like I'm not that guy. Like if you put on Drake in the car, I'm not gonna say turn this off. I'm not that guy. If you say, man, Drake's one of the best artists of all time, I'm gonna be like, he's good in the studio.
He's definitely one of the best 21st century artists of all time. He's up there.
Because the 21st century relies so heavily on
Everyone does. I don't think Drake does anything different than
Unfortunately.
anybody does. Nothing.
and that's why I don't like 90% of today's music.
I agree with that. I'm not with today's music. There's not a song from the last 2 years that I'm regularly listening to at all. There's not one. So, yeah.
And I understand that I'm probably putting too much emphasis on
You are.
talent. It's not are they good live. It's just obviously if you're good live, then you have talent. Because I guess you can auto-tune live, obviously, but like you would know. You would know if it's auto-tuned
It's
live
interesting.
or not.
Because I got one more example, and I'll let you obviously wrap up and say what you want, and then we can. I'll stop with the examples and stuff after this. Does the name? I'm gonna roast somebody, and I feel really bad, even though like they're never gonna see this. Does the name Lauren Elena mean anything to you?
It half sounds familiar.
I think she's like a somewhat modern country artist. I don't like country music, you know this. Mm-hmm. But she is in the chorus for one of my favorite country songs of all time, which is "What Ifs" by Kane Brown. Do you know that song?
No.
Okay.
I do not.
Really good song. I really like it to this day. It's one of the I can think of two country songs from the 21st century that I like. That's one of them. Three. I can think of three. And I love that song. She's in it. She was newer when she was featured on the song, whatever. And she sings great when she comes in, right? I saw Pentatonics live this year in August, and she was opening for them. And my wife and I actually couldn't remember why we knew that name when we saw who was opening for them. We don't usually care about the opener. We're like, why do I know Lauren Elena? And, she's in What Ifs with Kane Brown. I'm like, okay, cool. Still didn't watch her, right? As we're getting to our seats, we tried to time it to where we're getting to our seats around the time the opener was ending. She sings that song, which I think is the song she's the most well-known for, if I had to guess. It sounded god-awful. God-awful. I was like, what? She sounds so nice. What? What the? That's funny, too, given the context.
That's weird.
What the? And I promise, I mean no disrespect. She seems like a lovely person. I'm sure she's super nice. Pentatonics had raving things to say about her, which means she must be super cool, super great. And it seems like everybody else had a great time. But the one song that I know her for, that she's featured in, she sang live, and I thought it sounded terrible. Terrible. And it was like the last song she sang, so it must have been her. That's usually the big song you end with, is your big song, right? Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know, dude. Like, I still don't. Does that mean she's not that talented? I don't think that's a fair thing to say.
Well, you can have an off night too. You could have it like Fergie with the
But
national
who's to say
anthem.
you're
You
not
could have
picking off nights from Drake, who's had thousands of performances over the last
I am
12,
searching
13
for the song because he does mostly rap. One Dance is kind of more singing. I did one today. I did another one today. I can't remember the title now. It's in my search history, where he sings more than he raps. That's what I'm searching. I'm not cherry picking. Well, this is exactly a bad time. It's when Drake sings. Period.
So there's not a version of him singing One Dance Live that's good. To your
not that
knowledge.
I found. Not that I found.
Okay, maybe if I care enough, I'll take the challenge of trying to find him singing it. Because do you think the recorded version is bad of that song? Do you think the recorded version is fine? Yeah.
No.
Okay, so
if I can find one that sounds like that, I don't like the song.
Then I can really discredit your hot take here, and I would like to do that. I'm messing with you.
By saying that, okay. I think, real quick, you mentioned not liking country. I would agree that country is probably one of my least listened to genres.
Never liked it, ever.
Again, dude, I don't know why I put so much emphasis on. Passion is a good word for it. I care so much about passion. And perhaps, name an artist who had more passion for their music than Freddie Mercury. Good luck.
You can't see passion in the art necessarily, though, even though I obviously agree Freddie Mercury had passion. I think you could see and hear his passion when he performed live and in the recorded versions.
Okay.
But, like, you can't.
Some artists you can only tell live, some artists you can only tell whatever. Really random. This is going to sound so stupid, but it's so true. Luke Combs. Freaking love him, dude. Because whenever he sings, listen to Cold As You by Luke Combs.
No,
he is belting it in the studio, I promise you. You can tell he's putting oomph into that. That carries so much weight for me. That you
I
are...
don't want to listen to him.
I'm good.
No, thanks.
That's fine.
Don't like country music.
I just care about I care about passion. I care about talent. And in the 21st century, it is so easy to have really neither one and just be all in it for the cash. And you go in the studio and you say, "I'm on your way, front way, back way," and then they take it and it sounds great. It's so easy to do.
Wouldn't you do that if you could? Isn't that the way to do it? It's going to come out sounding great. You're going to have millions of fans. You're going to make millions of dollars. You're going to be
overrated
in the industry. Does that matter to you? If your scene is overrated?
Drake doesn't care that I think he's overrated.
Right.
But that doesn't change my opinion that he is.
I'm not coming at you with this at all, by the way. I promise I'm not. I'm just trying to... I don't think I fully understand what it is about Drake performances that just really grind your gears.
He's not good. He's not good live. I showed you those clips on Twitter. He literally cut himself off. I pray to make... He stopped mid-verse because he couldn't even sing it. He literally couldn't.
Okay.
His voice
that
cracked.
Makes him overrated?
So that's bad.
That makes him overrated? Bullcrap.
I'm not saying that just because that happened. That's happened to Freddie Mercury. At one point, his voice cracked and he didn't finish a line. That happened. Find me Drake singing, specifically Drake singing live. It doesn't sound good.
Okay.
It doesn't. It doesn't sound better than, I promise you, the average person singing.
We just disagree, and that's okay. We're allowed to disagree. That's what the show's for. So.
Okay. So do you remember these tweets I
did. I remember the one clip specifically. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds pretty bad.
Sounds like
he's still a great artist.
I said he sounds like a 10-year-old in the shower. You're like, yeah, man,
screwed that up for sure.
This man,
still a great artist. Sorry.
Why does he get a pass?
Because he makes great music.
Why? But can you also not see that possibly he's? You don't think he's overrated at all? Sincerely, you think he is top 3 current rap artist?
Yeah, I do. I do think he's top 3.
Talent.
I think he's probably the best of the 2010s. Talent? Who cares?
I do, and that's what this whole thing's about.
Who cares about the customer?
I know it's subjective. I know.
Well,
it's subjective. You might only like music for the beat. In which case, Drake's probably one of your favorite artists of all time because he does have great beats.
Yeah, he makes great beats. Or whoever's making them for him.
I sincerely doubt, of all things in the studio, that Drake's coming up with the beats.
Yeah,
he might be coming up with the lyrics. He's not the one in there formulating the track. I promise he's not.
Yeah. I think it's just so funny you're picking on Drake. I don't think that many modern artists are talented at all.
I'm picking,
especially no offense, especially in rap right now, which is what Drake's best known for. I don't think there's many talented rappers making it big right now at all. All these people that
No.
are industry plants are talentless for the most part. So
Right. But who's the biggest?
right now, it's still probably Drake. If you're talking about more modern, Young Boy, stuff like that.
Yeah. I could easily sit here and tell you different artists that I think are overrated overall. I'm not. I promise I'm not singling out Drake. It's just like how Harry Potter was or whatever. It's like it's the pull. It's the pull he has.
That's kind of how I feel about. I just think
out.
like, no offense to anybody, especially to the artist herself, who seems like a fine person. But like when Taylor Swift exists and you're talking about Drake's so overrated, he's not any less overrated as he is.
She's eons worse. She's eons.
So much more overrated.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That's like that. It's like that 50 Cent thing. What's he saying F me for?
I love that quote.
He effed your first baby mama Melissa. Say F him.
I slip that in. It would make no sense in the conversation. I'm like, what did he say F me for? It's so
great.
funny. To
I'm like, what did he say F me for? He effed your first baby mama Melissa. Say F him. So good.
That's Drake.
You can read one page of a Harry Potter book. I'll donate 50,000 to any charity of your choice. Have you seen that video? It's so good.
I don't think
you can read one page of a Harry Potter book. That's so good. It's like Floyd Mayweather reportedly can't read. If you didn't know that.
Yeah. You can't even read.
So, we went way off the rails there, as always.
Of course.
We got like 19 minutes left to hit our aim time and haven't even got to the main subject. I haven't even told you guys what the main subject is this week. Thanks for bearing with us. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, we love you, and we appreciate you. So,
our love stops here.
Nah,
because we're going to tell you about how some traditions that you have done for Thanksgiving / we'll throw in Black Friday maybe. Maybe people got some Black Friday traditions. Just holiday traditions.
About holiday traditions this episode.
I said that as if we're going to bash on some. I don't think we're not with the intent of like this is a stupid tradition.
I'm kind of coming at one.
Oh, you are?
I'm kind of coming at one because I think it's just like insane.
Well, we're already in like a hateful state. So why don't you leave with that?
Me lead with that? You can make me lead with it? It's really like the only big thing that I have, for what it's worth. And then I've got like one story. I've got one tradition I'm going to kind of bash on, and I got one story that I'm going to tell that I think is kind of funny.
I can't wait.
You still want me to do that even though that's really all I have? You want me to lead?
Well,
not that much time anyways.
Do your bash, and if they don't directly correlate, then I'll come in.
Here's the problem. Here's the issue with it. And I've been pretty open with it, so it's not like this is going to come as a surprise to anybody if this gets back around to him. I'm going to kind of bash the way one part of my in-laws' family does Christmas. Because it's insane. So I can say this. I'm allowed to say this. I have a card. It's in my wallet that says I'm allowed to say this. I have a pass. I promise, okay?
I'm so excited. I hope
These people are mountain people. Okay? And I mean mountain people.
Meaning like moonshine in the toilet?
I'm talking like what stereo... When you say, I'm from West Virginia,
what people
and they
think.
say, wow, I'm shocked because you have shoes on. They're thinking of these people. Okay? So...
Okay.
And they're so nice. They're so lovely. But it's just like... There's some stuff where I'm just like... How do you get out of bed in the morning?
What is it? What is this atrocious? I'm in.
One of the sides of my wife's family. We go to one of her grandparents' houses. It is in a holler, the only literal holler I've ever been to in my entire life. We go for Thanksgiving, we go there for Christmas Eve. It's the only holler I've ever been in my entire life. I'm not kidding. It's a literal holler, not exaggerating, okay? And you go in, and there's like 50,000 people. It's a pretty big house. It's bigger than my house now. It's bigger than the house I grew up in. It's a pretty big house. 50,000 people. They're all just running around. There's a bunch of kids who just like... I mean... Pandora's box has already been opened. I already started. There's a bunch of kids who is just like, where are your parents? right?
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
like, technically, like, I'm technically related to them by marriage, but it's like, then, and there you're related
Right.
to them. It's like, oh, okay, well.
Right.
And then there's always people who aren't related. And it's like, oh, it's so-and-so's, so-and-so, 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 so-and-so's boyfriend. I'm like, who the, what? What? And so dinner is always crazy. They eat in like 3 different rooms. Thanksgiving is pretty fun, I'll say. Thanksgiving is pretty fun because the food's pretty good. Christmas is crazy. When it comes time to when it comes time to open gifts, how do you typically open gifts, Hern? Walk me through the process. Okay, it's time to open gifts. Walk me beginning to end, generally, of how that goes.
I don't know what you're looking for. I mean,
For
whenever we
example,
did this,
growing up on Christmas Eve at my grandmother's house.
tell me
Time to
how
open
you
gifts.
did this.
You were like, I don't know
I'm
what
gonna
you're
tell you
looking
how
for.
we did it.
You said you didn't know what you were looking for. What I was looking for, so I'm going to tell you.
I was in the middle of talking though.
I had already decided. You're joking. I'm coming in. I'd already decided that
Alright.
before you started it. Christmas Eve at my grandmother's house. Okay, it's time to open gifts. 1 or 2 people, usually the kids, will get
Yes.
everybody's gifts from under the tree and give them to that person. And then we go around taking turns opening. Okay? How do
More or less.
you open gifts? Not knowing that kind of template of what I'm looking for.
Did you move in a circle? Like I don't know what you're looking for.
Do you do what I just said?
More or less. Like
Okay.
somebody was like Santa maybe who was the main
Yeah.
passer out of gifts. And then you would kind of like, okay, Chaperian, you go. Now we're going to go over here. We're going to go over here.
So-
and then, you just keep going.
At this place, when it comes time to open gifts, you will know. Because there's going to be a stampede running.
Just a free-for-all.
And like stuff going left and right. Is this me okay? Where? Huh? Do I just open it? Yeah, just open it. Okay, whatever. And like pure chaos for half an hour with 50,000 people. Obviously exaggerating. Running around. I don't know most of these people. Hey, if you're listening, I'm sorry, pal. I'm going to put my father-in-law out there. He does a great job staying away from all this. He does not enjoy this. He hates this.
There's always like that one like uncle
He's like,
or whoever that's
I'm
like.
good. He's like, I'm
Y'all-
good,
y'all
dude.
do it,
Yeah,
yeah.
you all have fun. He just kind of,
Right.
he's polite, obviously. He's great. He's super nice. But he's just kind of like, I don't know. I did not tell my wife I was going to roast one of the sides of her family tonight. But you're like, holiday traditions, maybe some you think are stupid. I'm like, I got one that I think's real stupid. Because I'm just like, this is crazy. It just doesn't feel like Christmas to me. And like,
So like
it's subjective.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
I was gonna say, so like, there's no order. It's just
There is negative amounts of order.
by the time you're on your second gift, Tommy over there has already opened
done.
all 5 of his
And is playing with
yeah.
it. And is shooting you with
Yeah.
his new Nerf gun. Or you're stepping on his remote control car. Or
Right.
it's just insane. And part of the reason I find gift giving so fun is that generally, especially in like a big group setting, someone's going to get some gift that's like really cool or they really want it and they'll take them in. Oh, thanks, dude. Oh, I'm going to use this for this. I like that kind of stuff. That matters to me.
Right.
That's
Right.
part of what makes the spirit to me. And there's just like zero time for that here. I don't know.
Yeah, so there's no time for appreciation.
There's zero time for appreciation at all.
Which I think you would agree. I hate that gifts. I hate that receiving gifts is like what Christmas is about now because it's. I hate that that's what some people think
I
Christmas is
kind of
about.
hate it,
is
even though
receiving
it
gifts.
is like obviously it's the part that's the most fun for sure, right? But
I too like. I like giving gifts. I like watching your face light up when I see you. I like.
yeah,
You remembered that I wanted this thing, like whatever. Like that's nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're not enjoying that, that's just
Yep.
that sounds like a gross free for all.
yeah. As an adult, I love giving gifts, and that just very much goes against the grain of what I'm used to the point that they warned me that it was that way when I first started dating my now wife.
That's
Literally, it's a thing. And they're like, have you taken him to that family's house yet? No, he's not been there yet. We'll see if he survives that.
dun, dun,
And it's crazy. So, but again, the matriarch and patriarch who are running that whole show are really nice, sweet people who would give you the clothes off their back. So it's not like I'm bashing them. It's more so just a lack of understanding the Christmas culture there. I would say it's very mountain people. And I can say that
Ding, 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 ding.
'cause half of my family is very banjo. So,
Ding, 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 ding.
that's my kind of bash. That's the one big tradition I want to talk about. I'll let you go from there.
I don't think I have a bash.
That's fine. That's fine.
A
blame
tradition,
you.
our Christmas tradition, our Christmas morning tradition specifically, I feel like is very abnormal. So I'll just tell everyone, and they can make fun of me. We woke up at 4 a.m. every Christmas. That was our delegated.
That's
like,
dope. Sorry, I mean, I love that.
Whenever you're like a 6-year-old kid, you want to get up as early as possible. You aren't sleeping Christmas night anyway, if you're so excited for all your shiny gifts or whatever. So long ago, like random one night, it somehow was 4 a.m. that we got up, and that became the standard. So and it lived as long as we were in that house. It went on.
Dope.
So like I was literally an 18-year-old in high school, and I didn't sleep Christmas night. I stayed up, and at 4 a.m. I woke everyone up, and we went and did our thing.
Nice.
So some families do like the breakfast before, some families do this or that or whatever. The biggest like gripe I would have with the holidays is just, dude, some families make it impossible to work with. You have
sure.
to understand. You have to understand as your kids get older and they have boyfriends, girlfriends, especially when it's getting more serious. They've got their family traditions they've done for 20 years too.
Your family grows, but it doubles when you get a significant other.
Right.
So
I don't know. I just hope that I'm not that way. I give all credit to my mother because I don't think she's been that way. I don't think my mother has been the stereotypical, like, we've done this for years. You can't go over there at 1 a.m. That's when we do stuff.
Yeah.
She's been pretty graceful about, like, okay, we'll see you when we see you. We'd like to see you on Christmas Day, but we'll see you when we see you.
Sure.
I think that's how you have to be.
My family's been great about that as well, for what it's worth. So
you can't be, I don't know. Again, like, why can't we just celebrate when we're together?
Yeah.
Whether it's
I
Christmas
typically
Eve,
do Christmas with
Day,
my
the day after
family
Christmas.
like at a very abnormal time now since I'm with Kat, my wife, because for that exact reason. So yeah, it happens.
So, somebody for half a second had no idea what you were talking about. They were like,
Huh?
with
wife.
a feline? His cat keeps him at home?
Yeah. It's funny because we do have 4 cats. So
There you go.
but anyways, keep going.
Yeah, so that's my biggest gripe is that some families can make Christmas / the holidays so
I'm glad you mentioned that. I got a fun
terrible.
one to tell you that I want your take on real quick.
Bring it.
If you know me, you know I'm significantly more passionate about sports than the average person.
Yes.
I would hazard a guess that I'm significantly more passionate about sports than the average sports fan, even.
Yes.
It ruins my week when the Bengals lose. It's probably going to ruin my Thanksgiving that Joe Burrow is out for the season. And that's next week. So, it just is what it is. I can't help it. It's part of the OCD. Merry coffee. It is what it is.
Right, coffee.
The Saturday after Thanksgiving is always the rivalry that is quite literally called the game. The biggest rivalry in college football, in my opinion, by a decent margin. Michigan versus Ohio State. So, my wife and I's best friends are massive Ohio State fans, more specifically, the wife.
Boo.
Okay? I can say this is never going to get back around to this family. So, she's a huge Ohio State fan. Her whole family is huge, massive, diehard. Like, that's like the only team they care about, too. Which is, to me, it makes it a little easier to go out on that one team when you don't really care. Like, they don't really have a pro football team. They don't have a baseball team. They definitely don't have a basketball team. There's like Ohio State. Ohio State football, especially. That's like the thing, right? All year round. Yeah. It can be March, right? NBA, baseball's coming back. NBA's full swing. Ohio State football.
Okay.
So they had plans to go to her husband, my other best friend's family, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. That's when we celebrate with my in-laws as well, because it's just easier that way. We got multiple families. You know how it works. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, whatever. Saturday is like a national holiday for her family because they all are watching Michigan, Ohio State. Well, like last week, they call her and they're like, hey, change of plans. We have to do Thanksgiving on Saturday now. Okay, I won't be there. Right? What's your stance on that?
first off, I'm a little confused. What's happening Wednesday or Thursday or Friday that you have
They were
to do
supposed to
Saturday?
do so. The wife in the circumstance is the massive Ohio State fan. Her husband's just kind of there with her in that argument or that side of things, right? Like whatever. She's a massive Ohio State fan. Her and her family, right? So Saturday is like booked in advance every single year. Saturday after Thanksgiving every single year is Michigan Ohio State. Okay.
Right.
I remember I used to get pissed when I had to work on that day, even though Michigan has lost all but 4 of those games since I was freaking born. So I used to love setting myself up for my appointment viewing of my yearly 60-point loss. It was great. Man, coffee. Saturday is when that game is, and they're supposed to do Thanksgiving with her in-laws Wednesday. Right?
Okay.
As of last week, they're like, hey, sorry, we're changing Thanksgiving from Wednesday to Saturday. I don't know what to tell you, I ain't going to be there. I ain't going to be there. I'm busy. That day's taken. And you've known this.
What time is the game?
It's always noon. When I think they're literally doing it at 1.
Yeah. If you know that this is a staple, if the family especially knows that this is a staple of the thing,
Yeah.
and that it's at 12,
But
if the game's at noon, make
that's
dinner
the
at
thing.
4, and I'll come.
So it's her husband's family, who is not a sports fan. He'll rep
So they
Ohio
don't really
State with
care.
her. Right? He's like,
Right.
yeah, she loves Ohio. He gets it. He definitely gets it.
But his family probably doesn't much care.
0.
Right.
And I've kind of ran into this with some other people as well. Hey, can you do this Saturday? No, Michigan's playing. What are you got doing Saturday afternoon? Watching the Bengals. Can you? No. Really? You're good? Yes. And then maybe that's a hot take. Again, I care more than the average person.
Yeah.
But I like it the second that I got told, like, so they moved it from Wednesday to Saturday, I was like, oh, they won't be there. I like cut the person who was telling me about this off. Because I knew where that was going immediately. Yeah, they changed it from the Wednesday before Thanksgiving to Saturday after. Oh, she won't be there then.
I think just to summarize my thoughts on it,
Bottom
I
line.
think if your family has had this tradition for years, like I said earlier, I think you have to be willing to budge at times. But if the other family is the one switching and they aren't willing to budge or whatever, do some talking, I'd miss it too. I would do what I've been doing for years. I think it's fine.
There you go. That's how I feel. I'm like, it just is what it is. So
Right. There you have it.
I figure I've got one more tradition that I'll kind of this one's not bashing at all. Just getting your thoughts on it, okay? Mm-hmm. Growing up, you did mention that you would do gifts from Santa and gifts from other people,
Mom and
including your
Dad,
parents, I
whatever.
imagine, right? You would have gifts that said your parents.
Right.
Kind of funny. I remember very vividly growing up, we would walk in on Christmas morning into the living room. And these are like some of my best memories of my life, obviously, right? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But everything was just there, unwrapped. And I don't hear from a lot of other people that they did it that way. So I don't know why they did that, because eventually, once my sister knew the secret about Santa, we stopped doing that. We started wrapping everything, putting it under the tree.
There's a secret about Santa?
Definitely not. Don't look at me. Ask your parents.
You just said there was. Okay.
No, I didn't say that. You run it back. I didn't say that.
Mom, Chaperian says there's something about Santa.
So, I'm just curious. Is that anything you've ever heard of? What did you guys do? We would walk in. I'm not kidding. It was a pile. And again, as an adult now, I'm like, I like the appreciation aspect of it. I would like miss gifts for like half an hour because everything's unwrapped. I'm going straight into like my biggest thing. I remember one year I got a Game Boy Advance, and then like one year I got like a bunch of like wrestling action figures in a ring, and like so that's like what I dove right into, setting that up and go right into it, right?
Yeah.
Is that what are your thoughts on that? The unwrapped Santa gifts.
So just Santa's gifts are unwrapped, not Mom and Dad's.
Mom and Dad's gifts are under the tree. We go through all of our Santa stuff for a little bit. We play a little bit, and then we say, okay, let's open gifts from everybody else. Sometimes we'd have like grandparents' gifts there as well too. It just kind of worked out like that.
I mean, it's hard to say that's weird because every family does whatever they want.
Oh, right. I'm just I've noticed it to be weird in that I don't know anybody else that's done it.
No, we didn't do that. Like Santa had different wrapping paper than Mom and Dad's. how it
Okay,
is.
yeah, that's
So
cool.
you could pretty easily tell whose was whose.
They were
Once
under
you
the
read
tree,
the first
though?
tag and saw, yeah, they were all like gathered on a tree. The only time something would be out is if it were like, you got a bike or whatever that obviously ain't gonna
Yeah.
wrap. Maybe it would be like leaned up on the wall or
I
whatever.
hate seeing the stupid stuff wrapped. I hate seeing bikes that are gift wrapped. I'm like, dude, come on.
That is pretty stupid.
The dad that's just like,
I do like it whenever people wrap gifts like as things that they're absolutely like they'll wrap like a tube of whatever and like it looks like a bike. I love
it's
that.
funny once. One time, that's it.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna do
Just like the
your
big
entire
box
gift set
trick.
like that.
Oh, gotcha. You thought it was some bit. Okay, that's funny one time. Just my thought.
Yeah.
Make coffee.
Right.
I still don't know what the
Well,
Christmas slogan is this year, by the way, for
you keep
Starbucks. I
saying-
gotta figure that out.
you
You
with
gotta
that,
try
you
In
with
and
that,
Out,
and-
and I gotta figure out what the Starbucks Christmas slogan is for this year before they're
Yeah.
done with their Christmas stuff.
I did see somebody online on Twitter the other day say that their hot take was that Whataburger was better than In-N-Out, and that In-N-Out is overrated.
Are they from Texas?
I don't know,
Usually, I would.
but
I have.
I know some friends of ours that are from California, which may be where In-N-Out came from.
It is. It's an LA thing.
They say obviously the exact opposite. They say In-N-Out above all.
Just from the outside
I'm
looking in,
curious.
In and Out looks better. Doesn't mean it is better. It looks better to me.
I'll
So
figure that out, and you figure out Mary Coffee.
I, in all
Okay.
seriousness, want to, like, in the future, whenever, plan a trip down there and try Whataburger, In and Out, and definitively make some little side hoe content. Be like, all right, let's figure this out, bro. Let's figure this out. And is there a Shake Shack near you? Surely there is.
Decently close.
Those are the three big players right now, like in the nation. Who's got the best? Shake Shack, In and Out, Whataburger are the three like most common answers for that. So
Okay. It's a Shake Shack like 20 minutes from here.
heck yeah, it's great. It's so good. So
Okay. We'll do it, pal. Anything else for us? Where can they find us?
I'm good. You can find us, if I'm not mistaken, up your button to the left.
Grateful.
That's a Joe Gatto special right there. He loved that one.
I'm up your butt to the left.
People would ask him actual questions. Hey, they'd be filming, but they're in New York and they're asking someone, hey, where is it? Oh, it's up your button to the left. And he'd walk on and keep going.
So serious. There was
Oh,
one
up
time
your
like,
butt
he was
into
like
the
a
left.
clerk. He was a clerk like in a store, and it was like some elderly woman,
Yeah.
like who's not gonna get the joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where they moved the shampoo? Where'd they put it? Oh, it's up your butt to the left. Like,
So
he
freaking
walks
good,
away.
dude.
like, oh my gosh.
One of the jokes we have about, like, with my best friends and my wife is, I don't even know how this really happened, but at some point we're like, well, your mom's house is to the left. It was, like, said seriously one time, and we just thought that was hilarious.
flowed.
Well, your mom's house is to the left. We'll say that in the middle of anything now. Well, your mom's house is to the left. So it's pretty good. They can find us at Twitter. At Twitter? That's us running that account. Hey, is there an at Twitter handle now? Is that? Hold on a minute. Is at Twitter available? What if we
I
just
tried
changed
to
our
at-
handle to at Twitter?
Because whenever I was having issues with Twitter, I tried to like at Twitter, and it seemed like it like didn't exist or something. I don't know. It was very weird.
It's definitely like a blacklisted name where there's an account out there squatting on it. There's no way it's available.
Yeah.
On Twitter, at HeadacheSpod. On TikTok, at Headaches and Hot Takes. We posted a pretty funny one this past week, highlighting one of our funny moments on the show, where our guy, Hern, got into it with an NFL player, and it got documented forever on the internet.
Thank God.
Thank God. Make coffee.
God.
That's it for me. Do you got... Oh, my God. You were supposed to...
I think
Finish this off.
tis the season. Tis the season.
Finish this off.
Give y'all like we'll bless you.
What gift
Tis
are
the
you going to
season.
give the viewers?
The grossest story you've ever heard. Promise.
Next week, right?
Sure.
All right,
We'll
let's
unwrap
go. That's it for me.
Well, folks. Yeah.
A solemnly sad Who Day today. That's it. The world's smallest violin.
Smallest violin. Peace, baby.
Who Day.